Hello, welcome back to Brand Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to talk about spiral. Spiral, as you probably already know, it's like a geometry that's going like a circle, but it's going smaller and smaller, or going bigger and bigger. That's really a crude description of spiral. You can search for spiral in Google, and you're gonna have a lot of examples. If you search by images, you start to understand, okay, spiral looks like this, and I can, you can draw it. You can draw it by hands. Yeah, let's just do this. Okay, spiral. And just keep going and going, or you can go smaller and smaller. And of course, we can also ask AI, what do you know about spiral? This is gonna be one of chapter in the book that I probably never gonna finish. But anyway, one of the chapters should talk about spiral geometry because it's interesting. It's basic and simple, but you're gonna learn to explore spiral. So geometric shape, a curve that starts from central point and gradually moves away in helical pattern. You will see in nature as shells, galaxies, spring. Okay, spring definitely. Spiral mathematical functions, spiral as a design pattern, spiral in as psychological concepts, kind of going around and around in repetitive behavior. Yeah, it's like a spinning motion as well. What is spiral functions in math? In mathematics, okay, it's explaining to you there are all kind of different spiral. If you actually want to generate spiral in Blender, you can do it using geometry nodes, of course. And let's take a look. With geometry nodes, you got the nodes that's already doing it for you. So this box, this default cube, can just suddenly become a spiral geometry, and you can control the height. If you look at it from the top view, you can see the spiral, and you can control the number of rotation, start, and radius. It's already doing it for you. The functions and everything is already hidden inside the nodes. You probably want to, if you want to dig deeper, of course, you want to see the functions, and you can Google search for the functions. But in this case, I'm gonna show you. Uh, this is the ChatGPT 3.5 from OpenAI. It's running as Copilot inside Obsidian. Okay, so it's actually the AI is writing the contents for me. Of course, this article, if it's gonna be a book, I need to add something more to it. Like more visuals or something that's inspiring for the reader. But anyhow, I'll ask the AI, give me a spiral as functions to generate monkey heads instances arranged in spiral using Blender Python. Okay, that's a wordy question, but the AI actually spit out this. So anyhow, this is the geometry node spiral. There's also Sverchok spiral, by the way. Sverchok. Oh, okay. Probably need to restart. Sverchok. Create new. Oh, interesting. I cannot add. Just restart Blender. Sverchok. Okay, spiral. Sverchok actually give more spiral example. The output is going to be vertices and edges, of course. We can preview it as temporal viewer. You can bake it. If you bake it, it's become a real geometry. So this is the geometry with all the dots. You can turn on and off the dots or the points. It's clearer probably with the dots, but check it out anyway. The exponential of the spiral, if you use the exponential value, you will see how it affects the spiral. You can specify how many turns you want to have for the spiral, the resolutions, the actual resolutions. You see the spiral also in the spider web, besides snail and things like that. Yes, so you can use spiral. And there's also this options, parabolic, hyperbolic. There's interesting one like the ones that have two spiral. There's this Fibonacci, conical, helix, spherical. Okay, spherical is interesting. Okay, this one it's called cornu, double spiral. And you can have multiple, and you get like almost like a multiple arm. This is almost like a mandala. Yeah, which is all pretty interesting. The one with multiple arms, actually, if you search, you will find, okay, this one piece gomu gomu fruits also have this spiral pattern. Okay, right. Okay, the AI actually give this example using BPY. So if we go back to this guy, okay, this is Sverchok spiral. Sverchok is an add-on. You can download. It has more than 200 nodes dealing with math. So if you gotta love math. I don't like the numbers. If it's like every day it's just counting numbers, I don't like that. Like counting. During the pandemic, when they say okay, people just doing the counting of people who are sick or dead, you think I don't like that kind of math, but the math like this is beautiful. Okay, this function does nothing, but maybe the code is a bit wrong. It's just I just get this monkey head for some reason. So maybe I'll check the second one. No need to use empty and instance, just create X number of monkey head, arrange this in a spiral. Okay, delete everything, replace the functions, rerun it. Okay, now we have monkey head arranged in spiral. You can see the monkey head is actually rotating as well. This is the original monkey. So what the script does, create a monkey objects. So this is the original Suzanne, and then generate monkey heads along the spiral. So the number of instances, but in this one is like 30. We can increase the number for I in range, so of number of instances that we specify. Do the rotations, angles equals I value times the rotations. Okay, it's specifying the parameter, the radius, the height, and rotations over here. You can adjust that, and then duplicate the monkey, and then location, rotation, and scale, and then just run the functions. We can specify 100 monkey, 150 monkey, for example. Now we have more monkey head arranged in a spiral. We can change the height. You can see this, the height, the distance between each monkey head, 0.05. So make sure the value is correct. See, so we have the monkey head being instanced and arranged in a spiral. And then I actually told this to make it smaller and smaller, so it's adjusted the functions. You can save this text with the blend file. Just gonna paste a new one. Okay, this one actually creates something that's a little bit more interesting. with the monkey head going smaller and smaller, and we have this something that looks like a snail. So if we change the distance to smaller value, okay, we get that spiral. You can join this Command J and then remesh it. We get like a snail shell. So that's the spiral. You can actually study the functions. Okay, let's try again. So delete everything. Play around with the numbers. If you want this to be more interactive, this is like a functions, right? Blender Python. With the functions, you cannot drag easily. So in order to make this draggable, maybe you want to use geometry nodes. It's actually changing the value, and then you can, okay, you know, there's the start and the end radius in this case, and then you can change the value and then run the functions again. Okay, you can see how it affecting our monkey head. If we make this value bigger or smaller, maybe this one can be 60. We end up with 60 monkey heads going in spiral. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? That's the power of math. Even though it's basic, I know it's you can see it clearly how the function runs and how it's affecting the visuals. If you are using geometry nodes, again, spiral, you know, spiral, and we need a monkey head. This is the base monkey head. I'm just gonna hide it here. Back to our spiral default cube. Bring the monkey head in. Save. So monkey spiral. I just call it monkey spiral. Monkey D Luffy spiral. And we can resample the spiral. So spiral is curved by default. So curve to points. And we actually should get points. We can't see the points, which is interesting. So just, and then just instance on points, instance the monkey head on the points. Now we have monkey head on the points, but the spiral, the monkey head is not rotating, right? So what's going on here? Because the way it's designed, it's just the spiral to points just give you points where you can place the monkey head. But in order to make the head rotating, you need to pass these rotations into the instance. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I believe there's something here that you might notice, the head, how the head is kind of rotating, following the curve tilt. So that adds to the complexity, but if we want, we can use Euler, align Euler to vector nodes, and then have more control over the tangent and the normal. I think the rotation should go to the rotations, and then we plug these rotations there. So now you can see the rotations slightly different. You can pick the axis of rotations, and you can also take this tangent into the considerations, plug this into the vector. Or maybe not need that. So anyhow, that's how it works, and then you can adjust this into evaluate, or the length based on the length of the curve value. And you can tilt the curve. Okay, maybe don't use the tilt. Maybe rotate the instance, rotate instances. Yeah, you can rotate the monkey head this way, which is should be easier to understand like this, easier to control as well. And then you can scale it, scale instances, maybe based on the index of the monkey head, and this should go into the scale. Use math, divide 1 divided by the index or something, so it's gonna get smaller and smaller. But you might want to remap this value. Yeah, that sort of things. There's a lot of math, but with the nodes it's simpler because you can adjust the parameters and you can control the spiral resolutions, the number of rotations, the start and the end radius, the height. So I think domain size, the point counts should be there. Point counts or spline counts. Anyhow, that's the total number that I want to specify, but let's say we are controlling the scale from this minimum maximum anyway, so it's easier to understand like this. So we got like the mandala of Suzanne. You can replace the Suzanne head with anything actually, and play around with the value of the spiral to get like a Fibonacci kind of spiral if you want to. So that's spiral, and we are exploring it through a lot of things. You can draw spiral, you can script using Python, Blender Python to script the placement of monkey head in a spiral. And yeah, you can use nodes and you can also draw it by hands. But that's really the things you can explore using AI or Google searching. You can now, find out more about spiral in nature. Next time you look, oh, okay, we don't have internet. Okay, Google doesn't like me. Spiral in nature. Yeah, spiral in nature. There's a lot, and if you can recreate this using geometry nodes in Blender or just sculpt it yourself manually. But this is interesting. Definitely something that's can be infinitely studied, but it's everywhere around you. And yeah, everything in nature can be recreated using geometry nodes or any procedural way. So that's how crazy and is how aliens and mysterious the whole thing is. So yeah, the AI can infinitely explain to you, throw any kind of ideas you want and ask the AI, and then you're gonna get the answers. And that's why this book is gonna be it's never gonna end. But I just like to give this idea. I think I need to have at least 108 things to talk about. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.